All right, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, want to start off by giving all praise and glory to Yahawah, by Hashem YAHAWASHI, by Hashem QADASH. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And I want to send salutations to all the Akim pushers worth in truth and sincerity. All right, this is going to be a lesson done in spirit and power of Yahawah by Hashem YAHAWASHI. Lord willing to edify the flock of the Lord. All right, and this lesson is going to go into this little information that I found out about. Brothers probably already know about it. It was something new to me. And I was basically talking to this Native American women, one of these, Gadite women, at the plantation. And she was just going into certain things about how, the natives are one of the only peoples, them, dogs and horses that, the U.S. Government basically keeps this thing known as blood quantum laws. Okay, and basically what this is, it's a law that, basically tracks Native Americans' lineage, man. Okay, and it's done in a way so that, Esau, the so-called white man, being the devil that he is, it basically sets it so that you have to have a paper trail of who your grandparents were, of who your father was, okay? Or else if you don't have that, you don't get to receive the benefits that the natives, the Gadites, the Seminoles, okay, which are are of the 12 tribes of Israel, okay, would receive, man, if they had that correct paperwork, okay. And this is just a law, man, unrighteous decrees, Isaiah 10, okay. And then it really shows you, man, that we're a cursed people, man, okay, because we know according to the prophecies that the spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. Okay, but another way that you could pinpoint who are the Israelites in these latter days would be, going into Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the 16th verse on down. All right, it basically breaks down the curses that the people of the Most High, Yahawah, will be suffering in the latter days. All right, so, on all levels, is this basically a proof, evidence that, like it says in the scriptures, Judah and Ephraim, they should be oppressed together. Okay. And even though the oppression that they did with the northern tribes is not as documented as they did with the southern kingdom, it still happened, man. All right. And this was done purposely, okay, to create division. All right. So I'm gonna get a little bit about this law just to get the point across. But this is evil, man. This is what the devil does. That's what he comes to do when he takes authority over the planet Earth. All right, this is John 10:10. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. All right, and if you look at the history, man, if you look at any the Wikipedia is gonna go into the Trail of Tears. All right, the when the conquistadores got here during the 1500s, man, they basically pillaged both North, South, and Central America. Okay, they killed millions and millions of our people, which are the Israelites, those so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, so it says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. Okay, because this word, this knowledge, this wisdom, it goes hand in hand with life, man. Okay, because once you put on this cloak, these garments, like the scriptures describe it as, you come back to life, man. The Ezekiel, the 37th chapter goes into how the dead bones came back to life. The sinews came upon them, the flesh came upon them, okay, and they were made a living spirit. And that's basically what's happening to us when we receive this word. We heard a voice behind us saying, walk ye in it, this is the way. Okay, so that's what the scriptures say here. What it says, that I come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. All right, complete opposite to what the devil, our enemy, has in store for us, man. All we know from this devil has been death, destruction, robbery, rape, pillage. Okay, so let's get a little bit of this, Lord willing, the lessons that edify. So it says, blood quantum laws or Indian blood laws are laws in the United States and the former 13 colonies that define Native American status by fractions of Native American ancestry. All right, These laws were enacted by the American government as a way to establish legally defined racial population groups. So they say that it was done for that, man, but basically it was done so that, through a period of time, the people lost the paper trail, so to speak, that would prove that they are native people, man, and therefore receive benefits from the government. Okay, and the woman I was speaking to, she was basically breaking it down how, for certain tribes you have to have so much of this so-called blood quantum, evidence to prove that you're of the tribe, so that you could receive the benefits, man. Okay, so this is evil, man. It's wicked. Actually, let's get that real quick in Isaiah 10, since we brought it up. Salakia, the sitting is kind of lagging. Oh, there it goes. Salakia. This is Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And through the history of Esau dwelling with the Gadites, that's all they done, man. They threw them out there in the concentration camps. They took this land first and foremost. Not took it, they stole it. Okay, and basically said that this land was theirs now, and basically put them in these reservations, which if you go into the area of these reservations, man, the land is barren. A lot of crops don't grow out there, and more than that, a lot of those lands are poisoned. Okay, because those are the lands where this devil had a lot of he would have a lot of these nuclear tests out there in those areas, man. Okay, so it says to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And what would ye do in the day of visitation, in the desolation which shall come from afar? To whom will ye flee for help? And where will you leave your glory? Salah. Let me turn this thing on real quick. All right. So it says to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And in all aspects they did that, and they continue to do that right now. Okay, because once the lineage dies off, these devils don't have to pay up all that money that that they basically owe these people through the treaties that they did. Okay, so it says a person's blood quantum is defined as the fraction of their ancestors out of their total ancestors who are documented as full-blood Native Americans. And this is another bullshit that Esau created, man. You are what your father is. So if your father was a native, then you're 100% what your father was. This bullshit about half this or 1/4 this was created by Esau, man, to basically deceive. It was done as a way of deception, man. Okay, because the scriptures describe that power was given over to him to deceive the nations, man. Okay, so all this is just smoke and mirrors, man. It's a way for him, to use his craftiness to get himself out of doing what he said he was going to do, which is, to ultimately pay out this money, man, these treaties that were made, okay, which he has not kept one. All right, so it says a person who has one parent who is full-blood Native American, and one who has native ancestry has a blood quantum of 1/2. You see, so basically it starts watering it down, man. And once you get to that point where you're 1/4, and then it moves on to basically you don't have no, according to Esau, you don't have no lineage that will give you the right to claim any type of benefit. You see, that's the devil for you. So it says nations that use blood quantum often do so in combination with other criteria. For instance, the Omaha tribe of Nebraska require a blood quantum of 1/4 Native American and descend from a registered ancestor for enrollment, while the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma has no blood quantum requirement and only requires lineal descent from a documented Cherokee ancestor listed on the Dawes rolls. So if you catch the drift, they basically did this, man, so that in a period of time, there wouldn't be people to claim that they had this so-called blood of their ancestors, man. Okay, so it says a specific sentence wrote that still uphold racist stereotypes and blood quantum theories, and that supersedes other older roles. Other nations have a tier system, with the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma using the lineal descent for general enrollment, but requiring a BQ of at least 1/4 of anyone who will run for tribal council. All right, the Indian Remove Act and the Trail of Tears led to major enumeration of Native Americans and many controversies and misunderstandings about blood quantum that persist to this day, as they were being forcibly driven out of their ancestral homelands and subject to genocide. Many natives understandably feared and distrusted the government and tried to avoid being enumerated. So a lot of these natives, man, they were like, fuck you, fuck the government. But now at this time, when they're trying to get any type of benefits from, let's say their great grandson, they're not gonna get it because this paper trail is not there, man. Hey, they could look like a straight Gadite, appear like them and basically say that all their parents were natives, but unless they have that paper trail, they ain't getting shit, man. You see how wicked and evil this is? So it says, but the only way to do this was to completely flee the Indian community. During a time of persecution and war, Indians who tried to refuse, if they were not already in a prison camp, had warrants issued for their arrest, they were forcibly rounded up and documented against their will. It is a modern-day misconception that this enumeration was the equivalent of contemporary tribal enrollment and in any way optional. You see? The concept of blood quantum was not widely applied by the United States government until the Indian Reorganization Act of 1944. At that time, the government required persons to have certain blood quantum to be recognized as Native Americans and be eligible, here's the point, be eligible for financial and other benefits under treaties or sales of land. Okay? So this is very important, man. This was just as important as when Esau did the redlining with the Judites, where they weren't allowed to purchase homes, they weren't allowed to own property, okay, and it basically put them on many hundreds of years of catching up to the so-called white man, so much that it's impossible really for us to catch up to him, man, because he has a 300-year head start on any of us, man, because he had us in slavery, he had us under these unrighteous decrees. Okay, so it says Native American nations have continued to assert sovereignty and treaty rights, including their own criteria for tribal membership, which may vary among them. In the early 21st century, some nations, such as the Wampanoag, tightened their membership rules and excluded persons who had previously been considered members. Challenges to such policies have been pursued by those excluded. You have among our people wicked men, that basically go, because Esau gives them a casino, gives them these opportunities to make money, that they betray their people, man. Okay, and this is known among our people. Okay. All right, this is another one I wanted to get a little bit. So it says many Native Americans have become used to the idea of blood quantum. The blood quantum laws have caused problems in Native American families whose members were inaccurately recorded as having different full or partial descent from particular tribes. Because they won't consider you full blood if your father's from one tribe and your mother's from another tribe, man. There's a conflict of interest, and basically you're not considered full blooded. What she was telling me, the guy that I was speaking to, was that she's not considered full-blooded because basically her father didn't sign her birth certificate, man. So on principle, now she's considered half-blood. She doesn't get the proper benefits, money, and land that she would have gotten if she would have had that paper trail, man. So it's all evil, man. This is evil, okay? So it says, at certain times, some state governments classify persons with African American and Native American admixture solely as African American. You see, just to get them from having that benefit, man. Okay, because there was a lot of natives that had that very dark tone, man. Okay, so it says largely because of racial discrimination related to slavery history and the concept of one drop rule. See, the one drop rule is a social legal practice of racial classification that was prominent in the 20th century United States. It asserted that any person with even one ancestor of black ancestry, one drop of black blood, is considered black. You see, so they use these at their convenience, man. Okay, they do this to basically cheat people out of what they had said they were gonna do according to the treaties that they signed with those people, man. All right, so I want to grab this real quick before we go any further. This is Psalms 55, and I'll start at verse. I'll start from the top. Give ear to my prayer, O Most High, and hide thyself from my supplication. Okay, attend unto me and hear me. I mourn in my complaint and make a noise, man. And this should piss you off. Okay, hey, when she was telling me, man, it got me pissed. Okay, I didn't even know about that, man. You see, so it really we're really in the land of our captivity, man, even this day. Okay, Baruch, it talks about that. We're subject to payments. Okay, we put our money in a bag full of hoes, really. Okay, because everything in this society is meant to oppress us, just like it's gonna say here, because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they cast iniquity upon me, and in wrath they hate me. My heart is sore pain within me, and the terrors of death are falling upon me. And that's the condition that our people are out there in those reservations. They're terrified, by what's coming. They're terrified that, in so many years their children are not gonna be able to, remain in those lands, in that dwelling that they have for them. Okay, because that's how it goes by. If you're not a member of that tribe, you don't get the benefits of what that tribe has, man. Okay, and I said, all that I had wings like a dove, for then would I fly away and be at rest. And that's what we hasten the coming of our Lord. Okay, because we want an end of all this unrighteous dealings. All right, the scriptures say, because unrighteous dealings, riches gotten by deceit. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. Okay, I would hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest. Destroy, O Lord, and divide their tongues. For I have seen violence and strife in the city. Day and night they go about it upon the walls thereof. Mischief and also and sorrow are in the midst of it. And that's all that's in the midst of this society, man. Mischief and evil. Deceit, okay? Because they'll tell you one thing, but they'll do something completely different. Okay? So it says, for it was not an enemy that reproached me. Then I could have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me that did magnify himself against me. Then I would have hid myself from him. Let me jump a little bit. Right here. Verse 20. He has put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He has broken his covenant. And that's what this devil has done since he came here, man. Lying, keep saying things that, that he wasn't going to keep. Not being a man of his word. Okay, that's why the Gadites call him a forked tongue. Okay, because he'll say one thing and do something completely different. Okay, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Okay, and that's basically what it is, man. He had one treaty on one hand and a sword in the other hand. And he already knew that the treaties that they signed, they weren't gonna keep. They knew, that they had loopholes and whatever. And that's how Esau does everything, man. He is a crafty bastard. Okay, but going back to this, So it says, at certain times, some governments classify persons. No, right here. This was prevalent in the South after Reconstruction, when white-dominated legislature imposed legal segregation, which classified the entire population only as white or color. Native Americans, some of whom were of mixed race, were included in the latter designation. Like I opened up with, said, Judah and Ephraim shall be oppressed together. Okay? It related to the racial caste system of slavery before the American Civil War. Some critics argue that blood quantum laws help create racism among tribal members. The historian Tony Saber contends that was why some members of the so-called 5 civilized tribes were slaveholders. The majority of slave owners were of mixed European ancestry. Some believe they were of higher status than the full-blood Indians and people of African ancestry. Other historians contend that the Cherokee and other tribes hold slaves because it was in their economic interest as part of the general southeastern culture. Cherokee and other tribes had also traditionally taken captive in warfare to use as slaves, though their institution differed from what developed in the southern colonies. Okay, so this is the evil, that wickedness that this man, the so-called white man, has done to our people, man. And like it says right here, let's get it real quick. This is Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. And tell me that isn't what they're doing here. You see, this is tribes requiring 5/8 of a degree blood quantum for membership. Tribes requiring a half degree of blood quantum for membership. And I had a good picture that basically shows what right here. So right here, check it out. So it says blood quantum. To marry so-called full-blooded natives procreate a full-blooded children. So once that children mixes with something else, now they're a half-breed. See? And once they mix with this, another so-called whatever, another person of another tribe, they become 1/4. You see? And by the time this baby procreates, there won't be any type of lineage left behind. You see? So for paper genocide, you see? Blood quantum is based on a simple formula. Half of the combined degree of Indian blood an individual parent possesses. So if both parents have 100% Indian blood, their child will have a blood quantum of 100%. So this was done so that they may eliminate people from receiving benefits, man. All right, paper genocide. But some Native Americans who follow the issue closely say sticking with the BQ or blood quantum system for measuring ancestry is a recipe for disaster. Joe Doerfler, head of the University of Michigan American Indian Indigenous Studies Department, grew up in a white earth nation, one of the 6 bands of
Anishinaabe,
also known as the Chippewa people, united under the governing body of the Minnesota Chippewa tribe. What black quantum does is racialize American Indian identity, she said. It is an outside concept used to disenfranchise Native people and tribes from their legal and political status, and it's the best way to eliminate ongoing treaty obligations, man. Ooh, that said it perfectly. Okay? So that's what they're doing, man. Through unrighteous decrees, through, the breaking of treaties that they did, man. You see? This is the devil that the Bible speaks about, man. This is Matthew 11:12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. You see? And that's what this is the way that they have dealt with our people, man. Whatever they want, they take it by force. Okay, and that's what the scriptures describe, the things that have been done to our nation. No other nation has gone through it, man. You know, the evilness, the oppression. Okay, so that's why it says here in Daniel 9:12, and he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. Okay, because what's being done, what has been done to our people, starting off with Judah, all the way down to you so-called, starting off with the so-called black man, all the way down to you so-called Mexicans, have been evil, man. All right, for under the whole heaven hath not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem. See, no other nation has gone through what we went through, man. All right, and that's why you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have to wake the fuck up. All right, this man is not in your best interest. This man does not have your best interest in mind. He is your enemy, okay? And he hates you, man, with a perfect hatred, okay? This is Micah 2. I'll start at verse 10, straight to the point. Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword destruction. Okay? Because it's polluted, man. You know, the way everything's organized, you know, the way like we went through the whole blood quantum thing, man. It's so unrighteous, man. Okay, so you're not going to get a fair share or a fair shake in this society, man. All right? Everything's compromised in the form that is going to benefit the so-called white man. This is his kingdom. This is his society. Why would he create a society that's going to benefit us? You know? So it says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. All right? And it's super polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword destruction. All right? So that's what you can have here in America, Babylon the Great, man. This is what we were, destined to feel in this society, man, because this is the place where we were made to serve bondage. All right? Deuteronomy 28:15, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, and we didn't, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, that increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep. All right, and tell me we don't see that with the Gadites, man. And they're throwing this whole country was theirs. Okay, this whole land. And now they're up in those out of nowhere, no roads, no electricity, no running water, poison water, okay? Reservations that they're out there, man. There's like the hoods that the so-called Negroes and Latinos are in. But those reservations, man, they're much worse. They're really bad. Cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, in all that thou settest thy hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he hath consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it. All right, let's get a little bit more. Right here, 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt only be oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee, man. Okay? No man shall save thee. So don't expect any type of deliverance, any type of hope, any type of treaty that they're actually going to keep from the so-called white man. That's not his lot. His lot was to lie, to steal, to cheat. Okay? Psalms 28:1. Unto thee will I cry, O Yahawah, my rock. Be not silent to me, lest if thou be silent unto me, I become like them that go down into the pit. Hear the voice of my supplication when I cry unto thee, when I lift up my hands toward thy oracle, toward thy holy oracle. Draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers of iniquity, which speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts. All right? And that's what this man represents, man. He represents mischief. He represents lies, robbery, pillage, rape, okay? Give them according to their deeds and according to the wickedness of their endeavors. Give them after the work of their hands. Render to them their desert, because they regard not the works of the Lord Yahweh, nor the operation of his hand. He shall destroy them and not build them up. All right? So, that's what this man does. He speaks peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts, man. And we have seen that. You have a bunch of movies that go into the whole Trail of Tears, the whole, all the treaties that were broken by the so-called, actually, let's look it up. Of the nearly 370 treaties negotiated between the U.S. and tribal leaders, Stacker has compiled a list of 15 broken treaties negotiated between 1777 and 1868 using news, archival documents, and indigenous and governmental history reports. Now, it has to be more than that, but they're not. You have to really look for it. But let's get this real quick. Jeremiah 22:13. Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness, and and his chambers by wrong, that uses his neighbor's service without wages, and giveth him not for his work, that saith, I will build me a wide house and a large chambers, and cutteth him out of the windows, and it is sealed with cedar and painted with vermilion. And that's what this devil did, man. He built himself humongous houses, mansions. He built himself a kingdom, a country. And by the backs of our people, man. By the oppression and the robbery and the killing of our people, man. That's what the scriptures say. Nahum, I believe. Yeah. This is Nahum 3:1. It says, Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city! It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. The noise of a whip, and the noise of rattling of the wheels, and of the prancing horses, and of the jumping chariots. The horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain in a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses, man. And that's the mass killing that was done here, man. That's what the scriptures describe it as, a bloody city. Okay? Because, you just do the research, man. Do the research, and you'll see how America, Babylon the Great, was built. You'll see that it was built upon the blood of our people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the Israelites. All right? So it says, shalt thou reign, because thou closest thyself in cedar? Did not thy father eat and drink, and do judgment and justice, and then it was well with him? It is going into something else, but woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness. And that's what this devil did. Everything that he has done goes against the law, statutes, and commandments of our Heavenly Father. And, the scriptures say that he helped forward the affliction of our people. And these are all different points that you could use to prove on why this devil is the devil that the Bible speaks about, man. Okay? So I'll end up with this because, Gad, at the end of the day, and Gad is pissed, man. Like I said, I was talking with this woman, and I felt it, man. She was pissed, pissed that that I had not seen like that, man. She was angry, okay. But like it says right here in Genesis 49:19, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. So at the end of the day, we're going to get the kingdom that comes next, man. We're going to take rulership of the whole planet Earth in righteousness. So, this is just another example, another, spiritual booster in a sense to, keep fighting, keep proclaiming and like it says, prophesy against Mount Seir, man. Because, the things that this man did, man, were evil. Okay, and more and more information is coming out, to prove such. All right. So with that, I pray the lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahawah, BAHA YAHAWASHI, BAHA QADASH. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations to all the Akim pushers worth in truth and sincerity. I say shalom.